Hey everybody, today I am at the Hollyshorts Film Festival with, can you introduce yourself, mainly because I can't say your last name and I don't want to butcher it.
It's gonna catch on. It's gonna be like Schwarzenegger type of thing. Once you learn it, you'll know it. It's Eva Dolazalova, or Dolazalova, and I am a writer and director, and I am here at this festival with my most recent short called Carte Blanche, starring Dylan Sprouse, Suki Waterhouse, Jack Kilmer, and Johnny Whitworth.
And written, directed, and produced by you.
Yes.
That's crazy. Was this your first time kind of truly taking charge of a film in all three of those aspects, or?
I've always had, actually, in every of my films, I've always wrote it and then make it come to life, and so I've always been involved in all these aspects. I had a fantastic producer with me on board for this one, Andrea Chung, who's really helped to brought this film to its proper life, and I love co-producing on every of my film because it's just you get to put your fingers in everything when you're the filmmaker. So
Definitely.
I do like to have my fingers in all the aspects.
Yeah, and I was able to see it thanks to you. Thanks for sending me that exclusive link, making me feel so special.
It's gonna come out on iTunes actually pretty soon.
Oh, yay!
So we're doing this festival. I think we're doing 2 more festivals and then iTunes time in like 2-3 months.
Okay, so it's going to be available for everyone. You can wait that long. I've waited 2 years, so you guys can wait 3 months, right? I told you, yeah.
It's on this film, yeah.
Yeah. So I obviously watch it, and it's even chilling for me just as a viewer to watch, and I'm not involved. I know that's the effect you want, but like I'm not involved obviously as deeply as you. So how do you get your mind into that setting of writing such a dark psychological thriller horror type genre, and then not being like scared for your life when you're walking down the street or going to Hollywood parties?
Totally. I mean, those are scary, by the way. Sometimes scarier than the movie itself. But no, I think creating something a little bit darker, or something in between dreams and reality. I started as a surrealist filmmaker, and my first film was called Sound of Sun. It was with Suki Waterhouse. Sean Penn had a cameo. I was in it. And then I went on down with this trilogy with 2 other pieces, Somnio and Samice, and they've all had this transformational a link to them. And so with creating Carte Blanche, when I first came out here from Europe, which is 3 years ago now, and I sort of started to see this world of complete, new, of its new nature, it's Hollywood, it's like a thing on its own. And so seeing this, I was like, it really gave me a lot of inspiration in order to create the character, Gideon Blake, embodied by Dylan Sprouse, and sort of go into the darker, the underbelly of fame, Hollywood, those teasers that we sort of get in everyday life, those hedonism sort of things, like, and then, drugs and sex and agents and managers and the good and evil, and sort of Gideon in this film he's like a star of a new franchise film, and he's just he's got fame very quickly at a very young age, and he's sort of brought onto this world without having a privilege, like previous sort of connection with anybody in that world, and yeah, he's brought right into it, and there are many tests he has to take, and they're sort of, he bumps across a man from his past, which is embodied by Jack Kilmer, and he has a decision to make, whether he's going to go the white route or the black route.
And we'll let you guys watch to figure out which route he takes.
Exactly. There are options.
Yeah, and it's so true about Hollywood. Obviously, I would hope nothing happens as intense as what happens to Dylan's character, but there are a lot of scandals that go on in this industry, or just underground stuff, people not playing by the rules. It could sometimes be just as simple as people lying, cheating, stealing to get to the top. How do you make sure to protect yourself at all times, because it is a very cutthroat industry?
Right. This is definitely another aspect of the film where we all have the choice, and some people believe that in order to get fame, you have to go over dead bodies. And what I'm suggesting in my film is that you don't necessarily have to do that. There are other ways to come to a healthy fame, and you're gonna have to see the film in order to see what will be the decision of Gideon Blake. But I believe it doesn't necessarily. You don't have to sell your soul in order to be happy, and sometimes doing the opposite can actually bring so much more flowers.
Definitely, I would definitely agree. And I mean, I'm sure I've done things. Well, I know I've like done things in my past that I'm not proud of, but it's like, no, I'm a very good person. I just graduated college. Like I'm doing okay for myself. Yeah, I graduated at 16, guys. See, I should pretend to be 16 when it's in my favor.
Hashtag female today.
But yeah, so I think that, everyone has regrets and whatnot, but I think, like you said, in the long run, the people who play by the rules are going to finish first. You've obviously.
Necessarily, I've seen some bad people achieve exactly what they want.
No.
But
No.
but the thing is that can you live with yourself for the rest of your life?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the soul.
Yeah.
And this film is about a soul of a young actor. And it's how you're going to treat your soul. This is how you're going to feel for the rest of your life. You will be either sleeping quietly at night or you won't.
Exactly. It's like a whole, like you said, psychological thing. It's just, you're trying to be conscious of your decisions and making sure they're in line with your
We
values.
create our futures and we create our paths, and there is no one else in this world that is creating our paths for us. It is only us.
No, we have people obviously to help us along the way because you need that, but
you have little angels.
yes, it's our visions that we're trying to bring to life, and that's been so manifest for you because this film has been shown at a ton of film festivals. Tell us about your accomplishment at the Mammoth Film Festival. Oh my gosh!
It was the first festival we actually did with Carte Blanche, and it's an amazing festival. It's all in the snow, and it's run by Tanner and Tomic, and those are fantastic guys, and it's a very family festival where, I met them the first year, and we sort of talked about an idea, me coming with a film, and then I did direct that film, and then came with a film, and it got a great reviews, and we got the audience award, which I was already very happy to be a part of the festival, but to get that frozen mammoth statue, to have it in my living room, it's pretty sweet.
Is that actually what it is?
It is, yeah.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh, that's such a clever idea.
Very cute.
What? Okay, you gotta post a picture of that on your Instagram. Maybe you have and I just didn't stalk your page enough or something, but...
It is. You have to scroll down a little.
Okay, I'll scroll down. Okay, I'll scroll down as long as you don't think that makes me a stalker.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
I'll just hide later, but I think we're good.
And a little bit, we can kind of go in a new direction with this interview to kind of talk about how you've used your platform as an actress, director, writer, producer, literally everything in entertainment to speak out about causes that are important to you. You recently have become an ambassador for White Ribbon. Can you just kind of tell us how you first got connected with them?
Right, it was through a business partner that I work with on various productions, and I sort of thought it was the right time to, with my image that I have built in name of women and young female filmmakers, and it was the right time to sort of come forward and use my image for a great cause. And so White Ribbon, it is against domestic violence against women. However, it was created by men. So it is that what I love. It's about the equality in this charity, where it's just a beautiful collaboration, and it doesn't matter if you're a man or female. It's everybody can participate, and that is very beautiful. How I sort of started with this part of being on the side of women, no matter what kind of thing, is that I come from a certain part of the world, Eastern Europe, where women not necessarily could have had dreams. Even later on, and there was communism for 21 years, hardcore communism, and my mother was 13 when they arrived, so therefore all of her ambitions were kind of killed that day when the tanks arrived. So you sort of grow up with this energy around you that if you don't achieve a lot, it's okay. You're a woman and you can always marry and have kids and, cook fabulous meals for your husbands, and I just didn't want to settle for that.
No.
And so I do especially support women from that part of the world because it is harder for us to come out of those shells.
Totally.
But therefore, I don't want to eliminate anything. I wish that everybody will go after their dreams no matter what. And this is the only way how to survive or actually achieve something, is that if you're truly believe in what you do and go after it no matter what.
Exactly. Those are words that, like, it's interesting. I just realized that what you just said, like, living in America, I've heard those words like since kindergarten. That's what we're told. So
Exactly,
to
yeah.
me, it's mind-boggling to know. I mean, to be like I knew, but to actually hear from you, like we're not told that. We don't get to be told you can achieve whatever you want. But now you're kind of showing that you can have that message. It just unfortunately comes at a later time in your life. But hopefully soon enough it will be. As soon as people can understand language, they'll have those messages relayed to them, right?
Absolutely, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Oh, thank you. I know I'm like very proud of my minds for making that connection right now.
Oh yeah, it's working well.
Thank you,
You got
thank
some
you.
beauty rest, I see. I have had no rest, but
You don't even have eye bags though.
I do not get eye bags. They're in my brain. I'm kidding, but
You are speaking like you have been doing this for years, which of course you have. And I guess let's make it a little lighthearted. We'll go back to something lighthearted. Any fun moments from just filming, shooting you want to talk about? Any did you guys do pranks on set, or is that something only people on Disney do?
I don't allow that. But it was definitely a lot of fun to
Yeah.
be, have Dylan around and Johnny Whitworth actually. There is a big combat in between those two.
Mm-hmm.
I can't decide who's funnier. They're both very funny, but they just made me laugh in completely different ways. And to have that energy where when you have a little, minute, you can, you look away from your script, or you have all the scenes set up, and you have a minute to sort of breathe in and breathe out, and it is nice to sort of come on set to an actor who's full of, life and fun. So. That was definitely I mean, we always manage to have fun in no matter film that I've directed so far, but this one was particularly good. And I remember even one day I had over 100 people on set, including crew and extras and actors and all of this. So it was for a first time filmmaker, it was my first film with a dialogue actually. All my films before were voiceover or sort of in between dreams and reality. So
Okay.
so it was a big I put a lot on my plate, and my mother was she's like, dude, you really couldn't make a one-on-one actor kind of coffee shop kind of, what people actually do in the beginning. You have to have over 100 people in the MacArthur Plaza with big set builds and big actors.
It was so pretty.
And what I really appreciate is that a lot of the actors actually, some of them have never done a short film, and some of them haven't done it in years, including Gregory Itzin and Johnny Whitworth. And so it's beautiful that they've trusted me enough to take them on this journey and for us to create this film together. And I will never forget that.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like both indie films and short films, or indie short films, they don't get as much attention or love because they might not be shown to the masses. But it's fascinating because like I told you earlier, I've interviewed Dylan before at a different film festival, and it was also about banana split, for the indie film world. So it's even actors who are established, they want to go back to these short films. What do you think makes them so compelling?
Short films.
Yeah.
It is interesting because I'm gonna do my sort of last film. It's called Maestro, and it is created for my father, and it is in the memory of my living father, let's say. But it's about the conductor and a young journalist. And anyhow, there are certain stories that are not meant to be a feature film. And those stories I want to tell as short films. Yes, of course, you do want to, test your ground. You want to test how you are as a writer in a short term, how you are as a director, and then you go on and you do these big films. Back in the day, I think some directors did one short film and they went straight onto the feature.
Yeah.
And now these days, I feel like I really needed this process of making these, kind of big budget short films in order to test everything and then be the best that I can for my first feature film, which we're gonna film in 2020, and it's called Mantis, and it's another psychological horror.
Oh my
It's not scary, jumpy, but it's,
Yeah, so this is really up your alley. You love that.
Yeah, it's very Kafka Metamorphosis, Carrie, Black Swan, Raw from Julia Ducarnon. It's very out there in a female genre
Oh,
latter.
that's
Yeah.
so cool. You had me when you said Carrie. I'm like, yes, that's so cool. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about how, short films, like, they don't get as much love, but I feel like we're finally making a comeback.
I feel like it's starting because I think Hulu has a thing for short films, and I
Yeah.
think Criterion did, like, Filmstruck had before it went away. I don't know if the new one actually has it, but I feel like a lot of platforms are bringing that on because there are some incredible short films out there. There really are, and I've seen them, and wow, I mean, bravo to all the filmmakers that are putting themselves out there and scraping that money and finding that finance and looking for the DP they want to work with on this. And it is how it's your business card these days in order to make your feature film come true.
Oh, I never that you need to like patent what you just said about how a short film can be like a business card. No one else is allowed to say that. I want that to be your saying. One of many sayings. I know you're always.
So put it on a trivia.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for this interview. I would love for you to maybe just tease a little more about your feature film that you're gonna start next year. I don't know if has the script been finished and stuff.
Yes, it is finished.
Okay,
We're
cool.
in the casting in a casting process and in a packaging process, but it all happens. All I'm gonna say is that it all happens in a Colorado ski town, so it's all in the snow.
That could make it a lot harder or a lot more fun, depending on how you look at it, right?
Oh, and I want the real snow. I'm gonna do the
Yeah.
Hateful Eight kind of real thing. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah,
And
I
there's
love
some
the
pretty
snow.
visceral things that will happen on the snow. So it is a lot to look forward to
Okay.
psychologically.
I'm gonna be checking your Instagram story every day. I already do, but like literally every day, so that I can make sure to see all the behind the scenes of this.
Fabulous, fabulous.
Well, thank you so much. I'm for wanting to do this with me or being forced to. I don't know if you were told you have to speak to this girl, but either way,
No,
thank
it is
you.
my
Oh,
pleasure.
thank you. Do you want to just give your social media and then also for the film and then anything else you want to plug?
Okay, so
Yeah.
we come back to the Schwarzenegger full circle. So my Instagram, it's Eva Dolezalova official. So it's EVADOLEZALOVA official. And yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you again, and I'm excited to see this film on the big screen. I might be slightly more terrified, but I'm prepared.
No, it is. It is amazing. I'm so happy that I actually get to see my film in the Chinese theater. It is like
That's iconic.
very iconic, and the score is done by Devin Johnson. Editing it's Jeremy Edwards. My long life. Okay, I'm speaking like I'm 100 years old, but ever since I've started directing, they've been with me on every of my film. And then the score is top notch, and the end song actually, it is performed by me. I wrote the lyrics and I sing the end song for the end credits. And what happened is that we quickly needed an end credit song, and then so we had the music, but I feel like I wanted some lyrics, but I didn't know who to sort of approach. So I'm like, okay, let's just write this. And it is about the black and white energy and following the synopsis of the film pretty much, but developing it into a different sort of music world.
Yeah.
And so I wrote the lyrics in like 20 minutes, and I went to Devin's studio, and we started, and we just recorded it, and we're like, wow, this is pretty good. And we have so-called Chinese room. When you have the Chinese room with someone, it basically means that you can create without communicating, and whatever you do, it comes to a full flourishment because you just don't have to talk about it. You're disconnected. It's called, it's very beautiful. We're in a Chinese theater. It's a Chinese theory.
Yeah, I was like, that is full circle too.
That is a definite full circle. And then so we got approached. We put the song on iTunes. It's called Carte Blanche. So do get it.
Yes.
And then so we got approached by Satellite, and then also my first AD Harry Katz, who has a band called Harry Katz and the Pistachios, and they're like, can you do a concert with your songs? We're like, guys, we don't have songs. Like, this was the one song. They're like, can you make 6 songs happen? We look at each other with Deb, and we're like, okay, let's do it. And then so we performed this full concert, and working on an album that will be like a spin-off of the Carte Blanche, and it's what it actually all started. It so I'm not a singer, but it's more like it's with dark poetry, very Nick Cave-ish.
Okay.
Sort of Tom Waits, I would like to think, and PJ Harvey kind of.
That's very clever. My goodness, you just have all these tips and tricks in your brain. Thank you for sharing them with us, with me and the viewers.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Of course. Bye, guys.
Bye.